Good afternoon, students. This is Dr. Morgan, Phenix, coming to you from Stanley, Virginia. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon. It's sunny out there now still, but they're calling for more heavy rain this evening and high winds, perhaps even tornadoes, and certainly some more flooding. And so I hope you're safe wherever it is you are. Alrighty, this week, week 4, we're going into week 4, and you have a new assignment. It's an exciting assignment. If you don't find this a lot of fun and excitement, then perhaps we're in the wrong business together here, because this is about a child that has some particular needs and has been placed in a program, and we want to know whether we've done the right thing. Okay, and I want you to approach this assignment not as an essay or as a research paper. Okay, it is you are studying a single document here, which is in Blackboard. It's a 2-page document about Serge Romanich. It's entitled "Is This Child Mislabeled?" And that's what this is all about. On the 3rd page, there are some discussion questions. Take them seriously, and maybe even begin the very first sentence of your summary of the case, which is the first part of your assignment. Begin it with your thesis statement. I think that Serge Romanich was adequately assessed and placed, and given the programs that are available in the school, the many programs that are available there. Or just the opposite, I believe that Serge was not assessed properly or appropriately, and therefore his placement in special education was inappropriate. Or some mix of those two. Some students say yay for one and nay for the other. But that's what you do. You read this, and this is your only source, your only resource. No outside reference. It's not an essay. It's not an essay. It is a response to this. So this assignment comes in 3 parts. The first is a summary. You are just going to be restating what you see here, and you will be naming. The key players, of course, are Serge. He's a 3rd grader from Romania. He doesn't speak any English. His mom, who speaks very little English but is quite astute as to what's going on. Okay, the school's principal, Mr. Sims. You all want to be referring to him somewhere in your summary, because he is the principal. He's in charge of what goes on in that school. There's a school psychologist, unnamed. We don't know what her name is or his name. Okay. And there's some test scores that the school psychologist is in charge of, and there's one teacher that you all will be referring to, I'm sure, Mrs. Evans. Okay, a teacher in the school, and she is the first person to raise some questions, and whether she's correct or not, that's what this is about. This is a case study, and you are the site administrator, either visiting the school or you work there together with Mr. Sims, and somebody has asked you to take a look at this and to see what you think. Okay, so that's it. That's the entire assignment. It comes in 3 parts: a summary in 1 to 2 pages, maximum 2 pages. Okay, I mean, this is only 2 pages. Yours shouldn't be any longer than this, I don't think. A summary of that. Okay, and I would start it with that thesis about what you think about Serge's program and his treatment there and his placement. And then we go to a SWOT, a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. SWOT. Okay, this is a graphic reflection of a program's health and for planning purposes. Typically in a graphic format like this, a quadrant that businesses use, I would encourage you most strongly to use a straight bullet point outline in which you put in a person's name here and then about 4 or 5 words as to what you think. For example, and strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It's not just about Serge. Okay, Serge might fall in here somewhere. Okay, but more likely it's going to be programs and people there and testing and placement and various things there. So I'm going to give you one, just so I'll give you two examples here. Mrs. Evans, you will all identify Mrs. Evans as a strength, so I can give you that one. Okay, and so you'll put Mrs. Evans hyphen cultural sensitivity with the many Serbian students in the school. That's enough, okay, or even less than that. Mrs. Evans, cultural sensitivity with Serbians, okay, and a weakness here. I'll give you one. I'll give you something that is not a weakness. Serge Romanich doesn't speak English. That is not a weakness. That actually would fall under the opportunity category here, because if he doesn't speak English and we want him to speak English, that's our job, okay. And if we're doing a good job, great. That would be a strength. If we're doing a good job teaching him English and getting him moving forward, then that's a strength. If we are not doing a good job, then we have to get something going in opportunities. Or if we don't care at all, that might be a threat. Okay, threats are things that if you don't get them, here we go. Strengths, things we are doing well, things that are going well. Weaknesses, things we're not doing so well. Opportunities, things we didn't do that we really could have done if we had been paying attention, okay, that we ought to do. And threats, things that if we don't do something about them are going to have dire consequences for us, or for students, or for programs, or for the community. Okay, you might also want to consider the community that is referred to obliquely. Okay, not directly, but obliquely in this document. It's all here. Okay, they don't identify exactly where it is, so you don't have to go looking at any demographic data on a particular town. You have everything you need to know right here, and look at it all. Okay, and then finally you have, and the SWOT is 50 points. The summary is 20 points. The SWOT is 50, and then your case recommendations, as if you were a site administrator. Okay, get your recommendations from the SWOT. If you have weaknesses, what are you going to do about them? If you have opportunities, how are you going to put them in place? If you have strengths, how are you going to enhance them and do more of that? And if you have threats, how are you going to guard against them? Okay, and you need 5 or 6, I would say, recommendations. And don't write it in an essay. Make it a list. Make it an outline list. Very, very brief statement. Just show me that you know something about this, and that you have some good ideas. Just show me your creativity. I don't want to. If you write an essay, and I even say down here, text weakens. If you write an essay about the recommendations, I guarantee you only have 1 or 2, and you're going to lose points. In this is 30 points. Okay, the SWOT is 50 points, and I would say you would have to have 4 or 5 for each one of these. Alrighty, your summary is 20 points. That's for 1 to 2 pages for your summary, 1 page for the SWOT. Maybe go over a little bit. If you can single space these if you want to fit it on 1 page, or if you double space it, it will go over probably a little bit into the 2nd page. And then the recommendations should be 1 page as well. And like I say, just make it outline. That's all for today on that. Now, one other thing, and I think that this is important to do. I've been in grading your discussion boards. I have been taken off a point if you don't include reference and citation in your replies to your classmates. I think you have to have reference and citation in your post, because you need to add some authority to your voice. If you're thinking about that forum question and making a statement about it, you've got to refer to something, at least to the Superman DVD, or to Ruby Payne or Lorraine Monroe, or outside if you want. That's fine. The replies are not really designed to do that. If you want to use outside research or class familiar class materials as reference and citation, knock yourself out. But I think to take you away from responding to your classmates' post, that's what you're supposed to be doing. You speak to that person, put their name in the first sentence, or in a salutation there. And here's what I think about what you've said, and that's what you're supposed to be doing here. If you want to reference something to increase the value of what you're saying to that student, go ahead. I'll even give you a little extra credit for that if that is. But don't go looking for something just to satisfy me. I think it detracts from the nature of that assignment. That's it for today for me. Hope you're doing well. Enjoy the case study. Enjoy the question as to whether you and Mr. Sims need to talk about what's going on there to get things right, or if you need to congratulate him for having a wonderful, friendly school. Whatever you think there, folks. But enjoy. Excuse me. Enjoy this, and have questions, please post them in the forum. See you next time, Lord willing, if I survive.